It's big dog season, and you can't stay still because you want it. Talk that talk, George. You still scraping your plate because you're hungry. Talk that talk.
People are hurt tonight after shots rang out at a popular DeKalb County club.
And now DeKalb County police officers are trying to figure out what led up to this shooting overnight at Pinup's strip club in Decatur. That's where we find our Atlanta News First reporter Bridget Spencer. She's live from the DeKalb County Police Department. Bridget, did police make an arrest yet in this case?
Tori, Carly, they actually were able to track down two suspects that were actually being treated at the hospital. You can only imagine how scary the situation was inside of that club. I spoke to one faith leader about this. He is outraged by all the violence that he is seeing across Atlanta. It was early Sunday morning when shots rang out at Pinup Strip Club in Decatur. DeKalb County police say they found 3 people suffering from gunshots. They were taken to the hospital, and 5 others were tracked down at other area hospitals. 2 of the injured were taken into custody as suspects, police say.
We don't have the luxury to loiter or to wait. We got to do this now.
Reverend Daryl Winston is one of the faith leaders with the Save Our City Coalition. His group is working to stop the violence in Metro Atlanta and even enacted an initiative called the 10-Point Plan for Peace.
We must do something about this violence-soaked culture that in many cases is being celebrated.
The shooting at Pinup's comes on the heels of another club shooting, 1145 in Buckhead, where 2 people were murdered. The Reverend says people, especially the youth, need nonviolent conflict resolution. He now fears what the summer months may hold if nothing is done.
I am concerned that it's going to rise as the summer continues, as the summer unfolds. We've seen children as young as 13 and 14 with weapons, and this trend, unfortunately, is headed in the wrong direction.
Now, we did speak with the security guard at Pinup's earlier today. They have reopened their doors for business. We were unable to get in contact with the owner and manager for comment. Meanwhile, I did reach out to the DeKalb County Police to find out more information on who the injured people were as well as the suspects. Of course, we'll be sure to update you once we learn more about this story. For now, we're live in DeKalb County. Bridget Spencer, Atlanta News First.
Bridget.
Good morning. Today is Monday, June 3rd. The year is 2024. So once again, over the weekend, there was a shooting at a nightclub called Pinup's. Pinup's is not too far from me. It's a strip club. A strip club right around the corner. Pinup's is, well, I want to say it's an urban, because Pinup's used to be a white club back in the day, but now it has a more urban environment, or maybe an urban night. I'm not too sure. Or it could be fully a black club by now. But back years ago, Pinup's was a white strip club. But as demographics change in certain areas, the whole club industry in Atlanta has become very fragmented. They're not really upscale environments anymore. You could find an upscale restaurant / lounge / club, but as for these nightclubs, I stay far away from them. But everybody has to find out on their own. The level of violence that has escalated on these streets, especially in an environment where there are innocent people in a club just out to have a good time, and then you end up at the hospital having been shot. Multiple people shot who probably had nothing to do with the incident. Just like a few weeks ago, this young lady was killed. 2 people were killed at 1145 Lounge up there on Buckhead. The interesting part is both those clubs are located in areas that are relatively safe. You would think they were clean areas. Pinup's is right there off Ponce in What is that area called? I don't know. Scottsdale, I believe. Maybe. Does it fall into Scottsdale? Maybe it's not. Yeah, I think it's not City of Atlanta. It might have a City of Atlanta address, but that's not City of Atlanta. I mean, that's probably Scottsdale. Which is, but regardless of where these clubs are situated at, when you have crazy people who are running around trying to shoot people in a club, in a room full of people. There's a room full of people standing around and y'all shooting at each other. But we've seen these incidents happen in so many places in our community. I remember a few years back there was a shooting at a county fair, and two guys got to shooting at each other, and crowds of people standing around with their kids and everything at the county fair. People getting shot, and they have nothing to do with these incidents. Now, you all can make up your mind to do what you want to do. We're all grown people. And I know everybody wants young, they want to go out and have some fun. You really need to begin looking closely at the environments that you go to have all this fun. If you're going into areas where you're surrounded by a whole bunch of young black people who possibly have guns, everybody got a gun today, we all know this, everybody got one. Everybody's quick to grab their gun and use it. The people who were shot, it looks like they were near the entrance to the club, so maybe the shooting took place outside of the club, not inside. I haven't quite figured that part of it out at Pinups. But I did see a video where all the glass at the front of the place was shot out, which makes me think that somebody was outside the club shooting into the club, or maybe the bullets just hit the glass. I don't know. But Pinups open for business the next day. Be back open. Is it that serious to go out to a club and risk your life? I mean, I know a lot of y'all probably thinking, well, it can't be that bad all the time. You go out all the time. I know a lot of y'all probably thinking, well, these are small incidents. These are not small incidents. This happens frequently. That's why the city of Atlanta is now aggressively going after these clubs where so many people have been shot and killed at. They have multiple clubs in Atlanta where people have been killed. Multiple clubs. Most times it takes place in the parking lot or near the entrance to the club. A lot of times they're just the security officers get shot and killed. I know a lot of people who work security who have been shot and killed in Atlanta. I see these guys in the gym. I know them. I worked out with them. Been in the gym with them, and they were just in there doing security. It's interesting because I had a client that I knew for years, and I hadn't seen him in a while. And he sent me a message through Facebook. And this man used to be in Atlanta doing club promotions, do all kinds of stuff. I said, man, I haven't seen you in a minute. He said, man, I got the hell up out of Atlanta. He was like, yes, Atlanta is too dangerous. It's crazy. He said he ran into some incidents. And then he says the bottom line is so many people on drugs and getting high here. That whole club scene is just, which I already know. Everybody's doing drugs. Everybody's drinking. Everybody's getting high. Everybody's out to have a good time. That shooting happened at 5 o'clock in the morning at Pinups. 5 a.m. Okay. It was 5 o'clock in the morning when that shooting happened. And there were quite a people who were still running around that damn club at 5 a.m. What time did they close? Was the club closing at 5? I'm trying to figure out what was going on. I guess, I don't remember clubs staying open at till 5 o'clock in the morning. I remember years and years ago, I went out with some friends, and we ended up getting out. I remember us going home when the sun was coming up. This was in the early 90s, but I cannot remember what the hell we was out there doing. That didn't happen too frequently. Now I go my ass on. You couldn't pay me money to go into these clubs in Atlanta. I don't care. The last time I went out to a club was Compound. I used to think Compound was a really nice club until I saw them niggas tearing that damn club up in there one night. I went up in there. I went there to a birthday party. Them niggas was throwing chairs and bottles and everything else. I said, okay, I'm out. And that was a few years back. It was a friend of mine's birthday party. We all went to dinner first, and then they wanted to go by Compound. And something told me to just go on home. But a friend of mine, he kept saying, oh, come on over, it's going to be nice. We get in there early, we'll get in and out. Them niggas was in there acting the damn food. And this was a few years back. And I used to think Compound was a nice upscale club. It kind of reminded me of something like on South Beach or something. And then I think about the last few times I've been to Miami, I didn't go out in South Beach to any of those clubs because there was some incidents that had happened while we were there in Miami. So I just kind of cleared away from a few of them environments. Anytime you got an urban environment and you got these heathens running around, be careful. I'm telling y'all. And the only other solution that I can think of, and that a lot of my friends do, they go to white clubs. They say they can get in, there's no hassle, there's no shooting, there's no violence, you know. But I think the whole clubbing scene is kind of dying down here in Atlanta. There are not a lot of clubs left here. In the city of Atlanta, and a lot of these municipalities have made it so difficult to open up a nightclub because they've had enough. They've had enough. I suspect in years to come that we will see fewer and fewer nightclubs being open here in Atlanta. You'll see more hybrids like restaurants and lounges disguised, well, let me just say this, a nightclub disguised as a restaurant. There's so many places I don't go here in Atlanta. I see it on Instagram. I say, oh, I like to check it out now. I look through the Instagram pictures. I say, nah, too many heathens in there. I ain't going over there. And there's another thing, too, with these black nightclubs and black restaurants here in Atlanta. They're very expensive. This should be high as hell. Every time I go to one of these black-owned restaurants or lounges or something, the drinks are high, the food is high. I'm like, what are we paying for? And the service ain't all that great. Everybody keeps telling me, watch, you got to go to this place called Rocksteady. I've never been there before. But I've had about 3 or 4 people come to my house and say, go to Rocksteady. They have an industry night. I said, what is an industry night? What are they doing in there? Everybody seems to think Rocksteady is this really nice place to go to. So, who knows? I may or may not go. I have to see how I'm feeling. You never know. Yeah, but everybody keeps telling me to check out Rocksteady, that it's really nice. There's a nice crowd of people there. They have an industry night. But for what I understand, though, everyone keeps saying that the place is packed. And so, if the thing is packed, what's this thing doing? I was trying to find out. Yeah, so, I don't know. I was trying to see where Pinups was located at, but the phone not working outside here. Anyway, it's a beautiful morning out here. I know a lot of people just want to have fun and enjoy life. But it's unfortunate that, you know, it's unfortunate that people can't go out and enjoy life like that no more. Can't go to these clubs. Well, you can go at your own risk. But I got some friends who used to club and party. They said they don't do that shit no more. They used to go to these strip clubs. They used to go parties. They don't do any of that stuff. They said it became too urban. Way too many blacks in there. The dress code dropped. There's a certain element to Atlanta that's moving here Where you see shorties walking around with their pants hanging off their ass and tattoos all over the place. Everybody smoking weed and high. But I think one reason why you see such extreme violence in these environments is the people are high. They're doing a lot of drugs. I don't know what fantasy world a lot of us live in, but everybody's doing meth, coke, Molly, ecstasy, ketamine, gay and straight. All it just seems to be a massive problem here. So everybody's getting high, everybody's doing drugs, and because of this, then they all have their guns tucked in their belts or in their car close by. You know, they didn't say if these people were shot at Penance, if they were shot inside the club. I suspect they were because the girl was laying. I saw a video of a young lady laying on the ground right by the entrance, and I saw or by some glass or something, and all the glass was shot out, all of it just shattered. What I found interesting is the very next day, Pinups was back open for business. They said, okay, clean up the blood, mop the floor, throw this place back open. We open. Okay. Do what y'all want to do. Go where you want to go. Turn up, have fun, enjoy life. But you better start thinking that could be any innocent person. It could be anyone. It could be anyone just in there having a good time, enjoying life, and then all this shit happens. And then what are you supposed to do? You just enjoy yourself, partying, laughing, having fun, just enjoying life, and here come the heathens. Now, I have a friend who works at Grady Hospital, and he works in the trauma area. A lot of y'all don't understand this about these gunshot wounds. We hear about people getting shot and living, but their life is forever changed. Huge scars on their body, in the hospital for weeks, maybe months. Some people are paralyzed, or at least other infections and problems. I know that we all seem to think they got shot and they just walked away and everything was fine, but it doesn't quite work out that way for everybody. I never forget there was a young man who was a personal trainer here in Atlanta. I've known him for years. And he had a beautiful BMW convertible. And one night he was out going somewhere, and I could have sworn he said he was on Peachtree Road or something, and some guys tried to carjack him, and they shot him multiple times in his chest. And he was hospitalized for months behind this shit. And when they did, I finally saw him, he had this massive scar on his chest. His body was ruined. He was never able to really get back into the gym the way he wanted to. He was trying, he was struggling. He had so many setbacks. He had to keep going back and forth to the hospital for surgeries, and it just, his life will never be the same after the guys shot him over some stupid car that they found later. And I remember talking to him in the gym, and I was saying, man, you're lucky. I'm glad you survived. He was like, man, I wish I had died. I was like, when he made that comment, it kind of shocked me, because he said, you just don't know what I'm going through. And it kind of stuck in my head, because I did understand what he was going through. I understood it, because his life had been changed forever. All the plans that he had made to do competing bodybuilding shows, to do stuff, everything that all these plans he made were now gone, because he was now just trying to get back to normal. I think he ended up moving away from Atlanta. I hadn't seen him in a while. He was just minding his business, driving down, I want to say, I could have sworn it was Peachtree Road, he was somewhere in Atlanta. It was late at night. Some guys ran up on him in that convertible, and they shot him. I know he had just got that convertible. It was a brand new BMW convertible. I learned years ago, when the sun go down, you better take your ass home. Atlanta is a very unforgiving place. You have some people out here who just don't care about nobody. They don't care about your life, their lives. They don't care. They shooting at each other like it's the Wild Wild West. And in this case, in pinups, they say they believe the people who were doing the shooting got shot, and they're in the hospital too, and they're going to arrest them after they get out of there. But if you ever been down to Grady and you've seen the trauma unit down there, I have. And you've seen the horrific injuries of people being shot and trying to get back to normal and coming back and forth for therapy, additional surgeries. It's not pretty. It's just not. We all seem to think, life returns to normal. Like my friend said, he wished he had died that night. But he lived. And his life, that boy, had lost all his weight. He didn't look anything like he looked like before he got shot by these niggas who stole his car. And if I'm correct, there was some teenagers who stole the car and shot him. If I'm correct, it was a bunch of teenagers or something similar. I can't really remember. But anyway, over the years, I've met a lot of people who've been shot here in Atlanta. Most of the guys that I've known have been shot and killed were working security at nightclubs. And I know I've met quite a few just from the gym and working out and being in the workout community. And I've met quite a few guys who were in these environments who were working out and working as security. And they lure in these big guys and say, people have asked me to come work security at a club. I'm like, please, there ain't enough money. I'm not going to work security at nobody's nightclub. But these drunk, drug addict, crazy people here, hell no. No way. Too many mentally ill people with guns running around here. Hell no. I'm not going to work at no damn security for no club and security, nothing. And all the guys I do know who do professional bodyguard work, they didn't left Atlanta. They say it's too dangerous. They don't want to work with these rappers. They don't want to work with anybody in that R&B hip-hop community. These guys said, it ain't worth my life. These guys are running up in these clubs and got to do all this stuff. Everybody I know who work in that industry, and I know quite a few people, they don't work with them guys. Anything hip-hop related, rapper, sing a song, and they don't be bothered with them niggas. They say it's too dangerous. But they'll work with these white country music artists, these white musicians, anything that's away from that R&B, hip-hop and rap. They don't work with them people. Because it's too dangerous. Especially if they constantly running up in these clubs. They're like, okay, the club ain't nothing but trouble. And they got their entourage and all these people just there. Here's the crazy part. Y'all, these clubs are so fucking boring here. Y'all, they're so boring. People don't dance anymore. They're just standing around doing nothing. Oh, who wants to go into a club these days when all you're doing is standing around, you ain't doing nothing, drinking, the drinks are high as hell, bottle service high. What is the point? We're all just standing around looking at each other. The song come on and, it's boring. There's no dancing. There's really no activities going on. I found it to be very boring. See, when I went to the clubs back in the day, people literally danced. I remember going to Club 112 and getting out there, and we danced all night long, covered in sweat. We had fun then, and we didn't have to worry about people shooting stuff like that. It was a fun nightclub. We had a blast. But now, the few times I've gone out in recent years, and I don't go out much, y'all. There's no place to dance, not even a dance floor. I know even that compound, they had got rid of the dance floor and put in all these last time I went, they had all these damn booths all over the place. I'm like, what is this shit? Everybody want to sit in this section, the VIP and all this boring ass shit and high ass drinks and bottle service. Y'all, please, I don't want to be bothered. I'm not going to pay for these high ass drinks. I'll sit my ass at home first. You got to buy this expensive ass bottle. People crazy. But anyway. Today is Monday, June 3rd. It's a new month. New year. I know it's new year. Ain't no new year. We're still stuck here in 2024. Well, I'm thinking new month. Monday, June 3rd, the year is 2024. I just wanted to do a video about that. Go out, have fun. Go out, have fun. I've done it. But you got to be very selective about the places that you're going to. And I know y'all want to, I just hate to say this, but if you see too many heathens in there, niggas, you better go the other way. I really think there probably are some lounges and places that you go where there won't be no violence. But if the crowd is young, if it's a young, rowdy crowd, I would steer as far away from them as I can. There's everybody's got a gun and they will use them. That young lady who lost her life a few weeks ago at 11:45 was in there just to have a good time. She's only just starting her life. She was in college, came up from Savannah, somewhere South Georgia, in there just to have fun and have a good time. And unfortunately, she just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. And she died inside that nightclub. Maybe it's, as the club scene continues to die here in Atlanta, the clubs are going away. Atlanta's moving far away from these clubs. There used to be so many clubs here now, but there ain't too many to find either. I haven't seen any new clubs open. I think people like to talk about Rocksteady, but Rocksteady's a restaurant. It's a restaurant downstairs, and upstairs they have like a lounge or something. I've never been to it, but I've heard so many people talk about it. I think the club scene here in Atlanta and other cities, I think that's starting to change. I think clubs are starting. I think they're past that. They're a lot of these clubs are closing and shutting down, and because it's over with. I mean, a bunch of people just standing around, smoking hookah, drinking some liquor. Nobody really. I just don't see how these clubs can make it moving forward, especially with the scrutiny after so much violence inside of there. That club, 11:45, they're closed. They're not reopening. 2 people shot and killed in the club. Yeah, that's a wrap. But anyway, just be careful where y'all go. Really think about the crowds that you're hanging around. Really evaluate, is it worth going out to a club or an event and surround yourself with a certain group of element of people. Be very careful, be very cautious. Just think, and think hard, because I'm telling you, you only got one life to live. I don't even know if it's worth it to get dressed, get up, dressed, go out late at night to these places, stand in line, only later to end up at Grady Hospital being shot and then trying to survive that. You might live, but your life will be forever changed. Forever. Anyway, I'm out of here. Monday, June 3rd, 2024. I'm out, and enjoy the rest of this gorgeous Monday.